Yo, we've been getting a ton of hate, a ton of comments just talking about how horrible Albuquerque is. Now, if you look at these comments, you'd be like, why would I even want to move there? And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be telling you why I love Albuquerque, and reinforcing those negative comments is not going to be anything that I do today. I'm just going to do the opposite and really give you guys a positive light into exactly why I stay here, why I still continue to preach about moving here, because we still have a ton to offer. Now, hang tight, grab your pen and your pad. Let's get right into today's video. Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning in to the Living in Albuquerque channel, do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any kind of videos. And really, in today's video, guys, we're gonna be going in talking about the weather, talking about the opportunities, the affordability, and the culture here in Albuquerque. So getting right into it, my favorite thing about Albuquerque is probably going to be the weather, right? I know in Albuquerque we have over 300 plus sunny days of weather, and even today, right? It's middle of fall, and really it's about 70 degrees outside still. It might get cool in the morning, nice and crisp, but who doesn't love making a nice cup of coffee, going out and enjoying that crisp morning feel, breathing in that fresh air? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And really getting that in any other cities, you got cities like Houston, Denver, Los Angeles, New York, all these densely populated cities, even where we live on the west side of Albuquerque, where it's still kind of populated. We still get that cool, crisp, clean air in the mornings, and a lot of places don't. So I can tell why a lot of you haters are going to be jealous. The weather here isn't really invasive either. You're not going to experience like tons of feet of snow, and you're not going to experience a lot of rainfall. It's really right in the middle. It's very mild. So, if it is going to snow by the afternoon, you're going to be able to go and enjoy your day because the sun is going to dry up most of what is on the roads. It's really in those morning times when the temperatures drop drastically, because it's a desert, right? The temperatures drop drastically in the desert, right? I mean, if anybody has ever gone through a geography class or a history class, they tell you that. So don't be surprised that when you're coming here, you got this whole attire on of shorts and a hoodie. It's very normal here. It's the Albuquerque style, the New Mexico style, because if you're going out in the evening, so to say, like we do, right? Right now I'm chilling in shorts and a t-shirt. I might put on a sweater in the evening just to go outside because I'm still kind of hot, but I don't want to be cold. I just want to be in that comfortable zone. I don't know. You guys got to come down here and experience for yourself. I guess the best way to put it is like when you're camping, you're sitting next to a campfire, but we don't really have all the campfires all the time, right? I don't know. It's a weird thing to experience, but we get made fun of all the time, and people are like, "Why are you out here in flip flops, shorts, and a hoodie? Like, what is going on here?" And if you're not from here, you won't understand, you won't get it. But as soon as you move down here, right? And again, I gotta remind you guys, as much as I love doing this, I am also a licensed broker in the state of New Mexico. So I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. So if you are planning on moving down here, take a screenshot, write it down. That way you can get acclimated, and that way we can have a conversation on what type of weather you're going to be experiencing, what areas you want to look into, and maybe even give you some fashion advice. But really, the weather here, bar none, probably some of the best you'll ever experience in the country. And even in the summers, guys, it gets really hot for maybe 2 weeks, and then after that, it's kind of normal, kind of chill. All right, guys. Point number 2 that I really want to make to you is the culture here. The culture here is really slowed down with the blue collar mentality here, and the big majority of it being blue collar. A lot of people are starting to see through the red tape, and a lot of people are realizing that, hey, you can work hard and be efficient and effective and not listen to all the gurus out there and live a decent and good, happy life, because it's all about balance here, really, honestly. All right, the next point that I want to get into, because people are starting to say that everything is so expensive, and it's true, but maybe that's why you're hating on us, because Albuquerque's still very practical to live in. Now, when you are looking from the outside in, it's one thing, because when you're paying $1 million for what we pay a quarter of a price here, you're really envious of us, and I understand, right? So No hate on you. And for those states that don't have property taxes, I can't even talk to you guys because you guys are in a whole different ballgame. You guys want to make yourselves your own country. So whole different conversation, whole different video. But really, guys, living in Albuquerque, the average price point for a home is going to be around 350, right? It's going to be very nice. And average utility bills, depending on the season. I know this past season with the heat, we have refrigerated air, so that thing was always on, and our bill was around $300, just a little over that. But good thing is that these energy companies are doing these programs where you pay an average of 3 months or whatever it is, and then again they reassess, and they do this whole thing to make sure that it's still very affordable. So on average for utilities, you're looking around $300, $400, depending on the season. Now, when you're talking about gas and food and all that stuff, gas, depending on what part of the town you're in, you can find it pretty close to around $3. I know down the street from us, it's around like 320 for unleaded, a little bit more for premium, of course. But all you crazy people driving these premium cars, like if your car takes premium and you're daily driving it, you probably aren't worried about gas anyways. So I don't even know why I'm talking to you guys, but really, if you are looking for affordability, even a dinner for a family, you're looking around 40 to $50, a little bit more with tip, of course, but very affordable, under $100. You're not going to be spending all this money to enjoy yourself. If you are wanting a good cup of coffee, even at one of the small boutique craft shops, you're looking around $7, where Starbucks is charging the same all across the country. So keep that in mind. If you do want to still shop local, live local, very affordable. You might pay a little bit more, especially for those handcrafted kind of stuff. But as terms in housing and all that, around 350, depending on what area you're moving into, right? Some areas are a little bit hotter than others, and there is some homes that we can consider that might be in the $1 million range here, even a bit more. But that's very few, very far in between. And a lot of the outskirts cities like Rio Rancho and Las Lunas and Edgewood, and even Tijeras, right? That's right in between Albuquerque and Edgewood. Still very affordable and still very practical to live in. All right, guys, like I touched on it earlier, Albuquerque is still very welcoming as far as the community and the culture and all that stuff. You're still getting people who are just randomly saying hi to you. We still have that small town mindset, very alive within some of the generations of people that have lived here forever, because we understand morals and values for the most part. I know, sometimes you can see that stuff kind of get by the wayside, but we still commingle with those older generations, and most of us were raised with our grandparents, so we understand, values a whole lot, and we understand that lending a helping hand to our neighbor or a stranger sometimes is just the right thing to do. Or hey, New Mexico as a whole, sometimes we feel like we're against everybody else because you guys forget about us, right? Whenever I go out of town and I let them know that I'm from New Mexico, they're like, oh my gosh, you had to get a passport. Like, how did you get? Look, people, we're still part of the United States. We're not in Mexico. We are New Mexico, which is right next to Arizona, Texas, and Colorado. I'm going to put a map here for you guys just so you guys remember exactly where we're at. So really, don't feel like moving here, or if you are coming from a different city or a bigger city, that we're going to hold that against you. Actually, we actually thoroughly enjoy that because you're bringing a whole different perspective to the table. Now, unless you're a hater, again, like everybody in the comments that keeps saying, well, Albuquerque's this, Albuquerque's that. Look, you don't belong in our conversation because you aren't going to move down here anyways. And if you are, you're open to this conversation and we welcome you. And again, guys, the number popping up on the screen, if you are thinking of moving down here, within the next year or so, feel free to reach out. I love to hop on a quick call with you guys to talk about all the different areas and even give you guys an inside scoop of some of the best places to eat, best places to get coffee, and all that stuff. I love that there's so much opportunity here that gets missed all the time, right? Because those of us that have our eyes open to it really see where the holes are in the city, and we try to make it better, right? You have people like, number one, the cannabis industry here is just booming. It's crazy. You see dispensaries going up all over the place. But really, it comes down to the manufacturers. If you look at the back end that are supplying these dispensaries that are really changing the game and providing so much opportunity as far as labor, workforce, all that stuff, right? The economy here, it's getting better because of that. You know, who would have ever thought that we'd actually be in that type of position? And now we're starting to see some of those effects like Colorado has and stuff like that, because kids for some of the school lunches here, or actually all of the school lunches for the most part, are free for kiddos, right? I can remember that back in the day, I used to have friends that would have to pay for school lunch just because their parents made a certain amount of money, and now for the most part, most kids get school lunch for free. So opportunity is everywhere, right? If we are looking for it. Now, as far as other places, we're still lacking. Of course, I'd hate to say that, but it's the truth. There is so much more that we can do, and that's the beauty of it. Like tech here, booming. A lot of people are moving down here for tech. You got the labs, Los Alamos and Sandia, that are providing a ton of opportunities. And you also have Amazon that just recently moved in. They bought the old mattress factory and they're building other offsite buildings. And that is, giving a lot more people opportunity to work and put back into the community as far as dollars goes. And of course, they're going to collect taxes from that, right? We all know how much we love paying taxes. And if you're a small business owner, you understand that hopefully the money that we're paying back to the government is getting used in good ways. And for majority, from what I see, it's some of the roadways are a lot better. I hear it all the time, man, and I got to use this here because, again, the trolls, some of you guys that are coming from the states that don't have property tax or state tax or whatever it is, your guys' roads suck. For the majority of the time, our people are always working on the road, so there's always construction on the roads, but hey, at least they're doing something to make it a better place for you to drive in. So I can understand why you're jealous again, right? We got better roads than you, and we're more affordable. But really, guys, all jokes aside, there's still a ton of opportunity coming here. People are creating opportunities, whether it's, in the farming industry, the cultivation industry, tech, small businesses, local businesses. We're really just starting to see an uptick in people really supporting one another in order to make this city greater, right? Because we're tired of coming last. Just to be honest with you guys, we want to win. And sometimes, like I said, we feel like we're against the odds. So again, positive things to give to you guys. And I hope that this helps in making your decision a lot more clear and a lot more easier to move down here. All right, guys. Now, I don't by any means want to feed into the negativity or anything like that. I really just want to show you guys, from somebody that was born and raised here, I left at some point. I left to New York to see what was out there. And honest to God, I miss home. And I would never live in New York again. I would do the trip. I would visit New York, but I would never live there again, right? Their culture and everything wasn't more or less that I couldn't keep up. But man, the people were snobby. People were always mad, and they just were upfront and just not really nice. And for the most part, that was everywhere in New York, like Long Island, in the city, wherever, and Albuquerque. When I came back, it was like a breath of fresh air. Even the air smelled clean down here. So I can understand why most people, hate on us, because we have what they lack, and that's old-time morals or old-time values, history and culture, and we still have a ton of opportunity to grow. Just saying, guys. So if, again, right, as much as I love doing this, guys, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. Houses are still very affordable here. We're experiencing, some houses that are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. We're actually getting those houses at a discount price right now in the fall of 2023. So going into next year might be a different conversation once interest rates drop. When they do, I can guarantee you guys are going to want to be like, dang, we should have hit you up a lot sooner. And I'm going to say, well, we're already here. Let's do what we can with where we're at and make sure that we can find you the best place possible. So again, guys, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails. So feel free to reach out. Let's connect. Let's hop on a call. And until next time, guys, peace.
Yeah, oh my Lord, Watch me sway, darkness falls and we all pray.